Konami is back, at least for a week. I'm Chris with the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom May 1st, 2022, available on Stardom World. Konami returning if only for a bit was the headline of the show. It has been 5 months since Konami took time off for mental and physical health reasons, and while it isn't full-time, she will be wrestling over Golden Week. There was also good matches, but that is the norm for Stardom. This was a multi-camera show with no commentary, and the show opened with a pretty quick and simple singles match, Tekla vs Momo Kogo. Tekla is defending her SWA title belt against Mayu Iwatani May 5th, so this match felt like a warm-up. The match started pretty conventionally with a collar elbow tie-up before they both started running the ropes until an arm drag by Momo Kogo stopped the exchange. The rest of the match was pretty much as expected. Momo Kogo got to show off her 619 and drop kicks, while Tekla's rope-based offense was highlighted. Momo Kogo tried to get a sneaky victory with a backslide, but a Tekla spiderwalk spear followed by the Dudeko death drop got the Tekla the pinfall victory. The second match on the card was a tag team match, Azumi with Hina against Starlight Kid and Ruaka. This was a fun match with some chaos sprinkled in via Odotai. Before the match started, Odotai and the ref were arguing because the ref kept putting Ruaka's box on the floor. After that argument was settled, Starlight Kid and Ruaka jumped Azumi and Hina before the bell rang. For a while, I wasn't even aware of who was legal and it didn't seem like anyone did. There was just chaos in the ring, people running in and out while Odotai was attempting to isolate Hina. Odotai members not even in the match got in the ring and proceeded to throw Azumi in the air. It was finally sorted out who was legal, and the match continued like normal after its chaotic first few minutes. Hina was in the match for the majority for her side, and while she was having trouble with Ruaka, who she couldn't overpower, she fared better against Starlight Kid, who she could lift. Multiple times, Hina got Starlight Kid up on her shoulders and hit some pretty powerful moves. Odotai gang tactics were too much for Azumi and Hina though. Hina was double teamed by Ruaka and Starlight Kid, and the latter put the match away with a top corner moonsault press for the pinfall victory. The third match was a faction versus faction battle, Stars versus Donald Del Mondo. The Stars team was Mei Iwatani, Sai Ida, Hanan, Hazuki, and Kaguma, while Donald Del Mondo was represented by Julia, Natsupoi, Mei Sakurai, Himeka, and Maika. This was a fun match, and like most faction versus faction matches, there was some chaos because of run-ins and team brawls, which is normal for Stardom. The match started on a lighthearted note when Kaguma offered to start and Donald Del Mondo members forced Mei Sakurai to start. Kaguma has a history with the other members of Donald Del Mondo, and I wouldn't say they're scared of Kaguma, more like they're superstitious of her and don't want to interact with her. Mei Sakurai was able to resist the song of the Kuma, so Kaguma put her in the Kuma clutch instead. After that, the match was more conventional. Each member of both teams got time to shine before tagging out. There was a neat stereo double-arm drag spot done by Hazuki and Mayu Iwatani, but Mayu did stumble on the kick-through and instead of clubbed Natsupoi in the back, while the rest of the Stars kicked Donald Del Mondo in the face. After Donald Del Mondo ganged up and isolated Hanan, the end was not far. Some high-impact kicks from Julia were followed by a backdrop driver, and Donald Del Mondo got the pinfall victory. The next match was a trios match, Utami Hayashishita, Sai Kamatani, and Lady C vs Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Rina. The Queen's Quest and Odotai feud has been on the back burner for a while, but there is really only one chapter left in it, the Utami Hayashishita vs Momo Watanabe singles match. There hasn't been any indication when this may happen though, and Stardom does have a reputation on occasion of waiting too long to finish feuds. As for the match itself, it was a good match, especially the few minutes where Utami Hayashishita and Momo Watanabe were in the ring against each other. The match started with Lady C and Saki Kashima in the ring, but Lady C knows Saki's tactics and reversed the handshake into a boot to Saki Kashima. Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamatani then came in the ring to help Lady C, and all hell broke loose. Odotai ran in the ring and threw Queen's Quest out on the floor, and there was brawling outside the ring between the groups until the match made its way back in the ring. The match had a pretty basic structure. Lady C was active and Odotai took turns beating her up. Then Saya Kamatani came in and fought Odotai for a while. Then Utami Hayashishita's turn was next and she beat up Odotai before her short battle with Momo Watanabe forced her to tag out, and Lady C came back in. Unexpectedly, it looked like Lady C had the upper hand on Saki Kashima with some help from her teammates. A magic killer dropkick combo move by Queen's Quest got Saki Kashima down. Lady C went for the pin, which was reversed by a Kishikaise pin by Saki Kashima immediately, and she got the pinfall victory. Saki stole the victory from the hands of defeat. Konami made her return to Stardom in the main event in a God's Eye vs Cosmic Angels match. For God's Eye we had Shuri, Amisure, Mirai, and Konami. Cosmic Angels with Tam Nakano, Mina Shirakawa, Unagi Sayaka, and Waka Tsukiyama. Konami hadn't wrestled for Stardom since the end of last year, but it made a surprise return to join Shuri in God's Eye. Konami isn't a full-time member of the roster, and it sounds like this may be a once-in-a-while situation like with Kairi, but over Golden Week she'll be fighting with God's Eye. This was a good match, and Konami hasn't lost a step in the 5 months she has been away. Cosmic Angels did their dance like normal before the match, and Waka Tsukiyama knew almost half the steps. The match opened with a bit of levity when Unagi Sayaka faced off against Konami to start the match. I wasn't really calling it facing off though. Unagi wanted a hug, and when Konami wouldn't give her one, Unagi slapped her. After Konami kicked Unagi Sayaka in the guts, they did a bit of mat wrestling before Unagi tagged in Waka Tsukiyama. After Waka was tagged in, a large portion of the match was each member of God's Eye taking a turn beating up Waka Tsukiyama. Waka was finally able to tag out after some members of Cosmic Angels ran in to help, and Mina was tagged in. A little later in the match, Mirai and Mina had a cool section where they were having a conversation while trading strikes. Mina and Mirai have some history from back in TJPW, so Mina was congratulating Mirai on her Cinderella tournament win, then would hit her, and Mirai would thank Mina before hitting her back. The rest of the match was mostly God's Eye in control. There was a section where Shuri and Tam Nakano just kicked each other for a while, and a simultaneous submission spot where each member of God's Eye had a member of Cosmic Angels in a submission. This was Konami's comeback match, so she was going to get the win, and she made Waka Tsukiyama tap to the Triangle Lancer for the submission victory. And that was the show. The only matches you probably need to watch are the main event, but I also liked the Queen's Quest vs. Ototai Trios match. The next Stardom show is on May 3rd, and will be headlined by Cosmic Angels vs. Donald Del Mondo. Tam Nakano and Julia usually put on a good show when against each other. This has been the Joshi Wrestling Recap for Stardom May 1st, 2022. Thanks for listening.